This is part 2 of a series of lessons on works cited entries for an annotated bibliography. We are going to work on the second citation. In order to do that, we're going to move through what is called the works cited page guidelines. I also call this the container page. This can be found on elwoodeducation.com. The first element we're going to be concerned with is the author, followed by a period. We have the author's last name, comma, first name, and period. So this is correct. The second element is the source. The source might be surrounded with quotation marks, or it might be italicized. This one has quotation marks, so I know that this is a smaller item inside of a bigger item. Notice that the opening quotation marks and the closing quotation marks are both facing the source. Notice that there's a period at the end and it is inside of the closing quotation mark. The next thing we're going to deal with is the title of the container, followed by a comma. The title of the container here is in italics, but is followed by a period. So we're going to change the period into a comma. Notice that the comma is also in italics, so we're going to remove the italics. After the container, we might have other contributors, which we don't, version, number, no, publisher. Well, let's see if we have a publisher. There's none listed. The next thing the essayist listed was a URL, but that's not a publisher. So let me take the URL, I'm going to highlight it, push down Control, and while I'm holding Control, hit C to collect the URL. And then I'm going to visit that location, site, and see what it looks like. The Unbounded Spirit is indeed the name of the container. Here's the name of the article. Here's the name of the author right here. So the publisher should be at the bottom of the site, and I see nothing here. So I might want to check this guy out and see what's going on with him. Maybe we can figure out who his publisher is. So I'm going to Control C, pop his name in here, and see if I can find out something about this person. Clicking on this. He's introducing himself. I see that he has a YouTube channel, so he's probably self-publishing. I don't see anything down here to indicate a publisher. So right here after the container, I'm going to add his name. I'm not alphabetizing according to his name, so I put it first name, last name, followed by a comma. The next element on the works cited list is the publication date, followed by a comma. So let's go back to the article again. The date is usually going to be near the author's name, somewhere at the top. I don't see a date. I don't see a date here. Okay, so if there is no date, then we don't bother with that. The next thing is the location, followed by a period. The location would be the URL. Now, before I deal with the URL, I'm going to have to add my hanging indent. So I'm going to put the cursor on the beginning part of line 2 and tab. Now I'm having a problem because my text is wrapped. In order to unwrap this text, I'm going to put the cursor here, hit enter, and then tab. Now I have a problem because line 2 needs to be full and it's not. I'm going to put the cursor here and hit delete to see if I can bounce line 3 up to the end of line 2, and it didn't bounce up. That means that this is too big to fit on the line after this. So I'm going to find a way to separate the URL. I could separate it after a slash or a period or a hyphen. I'm going to guess that maybe that would be a good place to divide the URL, so I'm going to hit enter now. The URL popped up. I'm going to get rid of the additional space here. There should be just one space between the elements. Now, all of this isn't going to fit up there, so I'm going to put my cursor right there by the slash and type the, hyphen, healing, and I can only use healing if I can also get that hyphen in there, which I can. I'm not going to be able to fit power in there. So I'm going to delete out these elements, these words here, because I moved them up to line 2. Now I need to fill up this line. So I think all of this will fit up here. So I'm going to put the cursor right by the word power and hit delete to bounce it up. Now here I have an extra space, so I'm going to hit delete. I have accessed 25 March 2020. That works, except March needs to be abbreviated, so I'm going to put a period here and get rid of CH. I'm going to put the cursor here and tab over. Oh my goodness, I have this problem again. I'm going to move that over and everything settled down very nicely. So that's it for our second entry.